small exercise. Let's all put our hands in our pockets, take out the mobile phone, and please put it on a silent mode. We hope everyone's done that. We're just ensuring, that there's concentration inside the hall. We have a huge set of interesting topics, but we'd like to ask you, now we are ready to start. Are you ready? So many people inside the hall. Where's the energy? Yes, no, maybe. Shall we wait for you to... Like a little more. Yes? Okay, very good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the NASSCOM COE, Metaverse Conclave, where we enter and explore a new reality. Metaverse was initiated in the science fiction, and today we continue to see enormous advances in immersive experiences. As the enabling technologies of Metaverse develop further and become mature, use cases are expected to explode. Today, we begin the session by bringing together multiple stakeholders across the ecosystem to explore synergies and help the adoption of Metaverse by industry at large. Thank you for joining us this morning. Please give yourselves a warm round of applause for being here. Thank you. We would like to extend our gratitude to Innova. Innova is our Metaverse partner. Let's hear that for Innova, please. Thank you so much. Our platinum partner, Kia.ai. Our gold partner, Riva. And our NFT partner, Acknowledger. These are our partners that have helped this program happen. So please join us giving them a warm round of applause, thanking them for all their support in making sure that we are here today. So with this, I would like to welcome our CEO of NASSCOM Center of Excellence, Mr. Sanjeev Malhotra. So we'll request you to please open the event and deliver the welcome note, please.
Definitely put a lot of energy in the room. Thank you for that. Good morning, a very warm welcome to all of you to this first of its kind Metaverse Conclave. Metaverse being a new topic, I would say, it's sort of it's a topic. It's a very interesting topic because there are believers, and then the other hand, there are skeptics, And whoever you ask, you get a slightly different answer about where Metaverse is going, what Metaverse is, and how what we are going to be doing in the coming years. So I must start with a confession. Few months ago, just 3-4 months ago, I was a skeptic. So my journey from skeptic to believer has started 3-4 months ago, and it started with a person called Sushant Bindal in our organization, who's the force behind this conclave, and he came and told me, let's do a focused effort on Metaverse, and my answer was why, and then we had hours of discussion, the following week on the type of applications that are there and that Metaverse is bringing, not just in the retail or in the fashion, but across the board. And then we did some virtual sessions on it in the subsequent weeks, and the response we got and the participation we got from people across the board was an eye-opener. I was amazed to see the kind of work that is happening in India, in different parts of India, from large companies and small companies, and more from the smaller companies. And of course, there are big names we all know about, from US and other parts of the world. The believers there are believers who have been working on it, and there are companies who have changed their names, and there are people who are yet to start on it, And that's how this journey started. And having done those sessions, and given that, the reason we did that is we are Center of Excellence. We are supported and created by Ministry of Electronics and IT and Karnataka government, the Department of IT. Together, they have been supporting our effort on the emerging technologies. So exploring and experimenting is part of our DNA. You know, there are few things we do, they go well, few things probably do not go that well. And we are not afraid of that, you know, but thing is, unless we try, we will never know what is the right way to do. So innovation and, you know, experimenting, trying things is part of the innovation, and promoting innovation is the core to our value system and core to our DNA. And we have done a number of initiatives on other technologies and other verticals also. We have a focused vertical effort also, be it healthcare, be it manufacturing, be it retail, be it automotive, be it on the energy side of things, right? The green mobile. So a lot of things are happening as a part of this center excellence, and we have an excellent support from the governments and the industry together, and which who I like to thank from the bottom of my heart for getting us to this level. The journey we started 6 years ago to now we are exploring technology we never imagined 3 years ago we'll do. And the interesting thing is the technology is moving at such a fast pace and the applications are so wide, no one organization can handle it. And that's why we have created an ecosystem together where we believe collectively we can address issues which cannot be dealt alone. And we have seen a lot of good results, and you will see that as a part of some of the reports that have come out, and do follow us on that. And do visit us, our center in Bangalore. We have presence in 3 other parts of the country, in Gurgaon, Ahmedabad, and Vizag. So if you happen to be in any other part of the country, please do visit those and get associated with it. And once again, thank you to all the people, all the speakers, all the delegates here, and all the other partners who have been part of this and made this possible. I think we have an exciting day ahead, and I look forward to hearing each one of you and visiting all the interesting demos that we have on the side here. So with that, let's get started. Thank you, everyone, and on to the next one.
Thank you so much, sir. So whenever Mr. Sanjeev Malhotra delivers a welcome address, the event is already a successful one. He's our lucky charm. So with this, I would like to introduce and extend a very warm welcome. We have with us Dr. Rohini Srivatsa today. Dr. Rohini Srivatsa is the National Technology Officer at Microsoft India. In her role, she is responsible for driving innovation and growth through tech intensity across industry and the government. She is a thought leader, an advisor, and a contributor to several industry, government, and academia entities. Please join us. Welcome Dr. Rohini Srivatsa today. I request her to please join us on stage and set the context for today's event.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here. It's wonderful to be here. It's a very, very exciting topic. Clearly, that's why all of you are here. Can we put great, wonderful. I'm going to take just about 10 minutes to set some context. And we've all heard a lot about Metaverse. It's become a bit of a hype. And so I want to take a few minutes for us to understand how to think about it, how to feel, how to understand what your role might be inside it, etc. So let's just start off. Number one, I think we are in the middle of moving to a new computing paradigm. We've been through the PC era to the web era to the mobile and cloud era. But you see, computing doesn't happen in a vacuum. The last 2 years, 2.5 years of the pandemic, we have lived through a very different time. Many of us have used services virtually that we would have never dreamt of using earlier. We've seen doctors, we've seen friends, we've had antaksharis, we've had all kinds of things virtually that we would have never thought of doing in the past. That has changed the social and cultural paradigm of how we think about technology. So the way we are thinking about Metaverse is it's the next evolution in computing. And I'll tell you why I'm saying that, because in the way our world is becoming digitized and more out there in the physical world is becoming in the digital world, you are starting to see worlds collide. The physical and the digital worlds are colliding. And that is the overall thinking, broad, abstract premise of how one needs to think about it. But you see, if you look at the definitions, there are tons of definitions of metaverse. You know, whether you look at Wired or New York Times, I mean, there are tons and tons of definitions. So it's quite interesting. Actually, that says that people are trying to figure this out. People don't yet know what this is. They're trying to figure it out. And everybody has a lens. It's like that elephant, right? Everybody's looking at the elephant from different parts, and they kind of see the elephant from their vantage point, and they're putting it out there. And that's a good thing in some ways, right? But I think if you just look at the way Gartner is saying, one of the industry bodies that we all listen to, is looking at metaverse as a collective virtual shared space created by convergence of virtually physical and digital realities, persistent, enhanced immersive experiences, etc., etc. I think an important thing to remember here is that it is not about virtual reality. A lot of people think that pictures just show somebody with like a headset and you think that's metaverse. No, it is important to remember that it is not just about that. It's about being in those digital virtual realms through many types of devices, whether it's smartphones or tablets or head-mounted displays. Then Gartner also talks about the fact that the metaverse is going through an evolution. We are just starting in what you may call the emergent era of the metaverse, right? It's going to move towards something called advanced, where you will have much more interoperable data, a lot more IoT sensors, and a lot of spatial spaces that are in the digital world. So a lot of that. The final one, which is called mature, there's a lot of important keywords here. Interoperable is a very important keyword. Okay, immersive is a very important keyword. There are a lot of ramifications of these keywords. And that is why it's going to take us that much of time. We were just talking a little bit before this, that, you know, we've got 5G coming up, 6G coming up, you know, it should happen like tomorrow. No, that's because there's a lot more that needs to happen in terms of real-time rendering, real-time multiplayer immersive experiences. So it is not just about a headspace or a particular kind of telecom technology. But let's keep moving, and I'm going to be careful about time. So let's come to reality, some real facts, right? So Gartner is also saying that by 2026, 25% of people will spend at least an hour in the metaverse. Actually, if you go to the Gen X and the younger population, it's a lot more. And they are actually very much more open to doing a lot more work as well as what we may call serious stuff and not just gaming in the metaverse. So it's real. Some very interesting things that you may have been following is, you know, brands like Gucci, Ralph Lauren, etc. They're already experimenting and doing things in the metaverse. They're putting things out there. Those are being, the digital assets are being bought, and so some interesting experiences are going on. But let's come down to what, in a way, from a Microsoft perspective, one perspective, right? Like I mentioned to you, they have different perspectives. I'll give you one perspective, right? So one perspective is that it is going to be about a set of technologies that are persistent digital representations and in some way connected to the real world. You may argue with that because some gaming experiences have got no real world equivalent. But putting that aside, there is people, places, things, processes that if one thinks abstractly, how are you going to think about them between the physical and the digital world, intertwining, interliving, coalescing, then you start to get a view of what this is. Interestingly, there are two themes, and these could actually converge. Just like our work and life have gotten quite mixed up in the last 2.5 years, I think the consumer space and the enterprise space, you know, there also there is a lot of interesting conversion that could happen. But if I may just put it this way, that in the consumer space and the business space, at least for now, you know, there are different types of dynamics happening. So of course, Microsoft is doing a lot in the consumer space with the Xbox and Flight Simulator and All Space VR, and more recently the Activision that you might have heard, and just a couple of days back with Facebook. So there is tons happening in the consumer space, definitely. Not even talking about, I'm not even going down to Xbox and Minecraft and so. So those are all assets to be thought about from a consumer side where a lot is happening. And a lot of gaming industry and entertainment, etc., driving many of those things. But I'll stick to B2B. If you think about metaverse technologies and you go by the definition I just gave you, that it is the blending of the physical and digital, then a lot of those technologies are here today. Digital twins are here today. A lot of the analytics, a lot of the maps, mesh, HoloLens, all these are here today. So the question then becomes is that what kind of use cases are possible today? You don't have to wait for the emerging or latest of the metaverse. 3 classes, and I won't go too much into each one of them. I'll give you a glimpse to understand why, at least Satya would say that the metaverse is already here. Some people would say the metaverse will come. I would argue that I don't think there will be one moment when we'll say, before this was metaverse, after this, before this is not metaverse, after this is metaverse. Just like today, when we look at the mobile revolution, which date was it when the mobile revolution happened? Was it the day the WAP protocol was announced? Was it the day we got a BlackBerry? Was it the day iPhone 6 was announced? When did the mobile revolution start? Same thing. For the metaverse, there is going to be an evolution. And it's going to be important for each one of us in our respective contexts to understand where we are and what are the use cases that are of relevance. So I'll share with you a few examples of what we are seeing with customers around the world. Right? So one is, of course, the power of presence. That is being able to be present virtually in a different physical space, anywhere in the world, right? And those, if you start to think about, imagine a little bit, has applications in education, in healthcare, on the factory floor. Imagination becomes the only real constraint in the way you want to think about it, right? Second becomes of immersive worlds. Companies are investing, and I'll share a couple of examples. Companies are investing in, people onboarding in a virtual world. We have all attended conferences over the last couple of years completely in the virtual world, right? We've been to demos, we've been to, talks, etc., right? The third is about again going back to this thematic about digital physical. The third is about simulating real worlds in the digital world in ways that offer either efficiency or autonomous thing, or you can think factory floor, cities, digital twins of cities, city planning, for example, right? So there's a lot happening in that space. So again, in the interest of time, I'll just give you a couple of examples. So like I mentioned about the power of presence. In fact, in India, we have shown a surgery happening wherein a very senior surgeon was able to guide a junior surgeon by being remotely present and directly look at the patient who the junior surgeon was doing surgery on. Because that is possible. That is what I mean by power of presence. So what you have here on this picture is where, on the left-hand side, is there somebody on the shop floor needs help and is able to bring another senior person who can then see through the HoloLens what this person is seeing and actually guide exactly what this person needs to do. That's about the power of presence, right? So lots happening in that space. The second one you probably have heard about, Accenture's nth floor, right? So they created this space wherein you can hold meetings, you can do onboarding of people. So there's a lot that's happening in terms of having this collaboration meetup in the metaverse. And the last one I would say is about industrial solutions. So here, again, I won't go through the video, but you can look it up. Here, the ability to simulate a particular machine and be able to predict. So this is a lot of different things coming together. IoT is coming together with AI, with remote rendering. So a lot of different things are coming together, which is why it is not just about your VR headset. Right? So a lot of things are coming together in terms of being able to predict a particular failure and be able to, from a remote, control or other address it. So, wrapping it up, we are just in the beginning. This is really just the beginning. And it's to think about it as an evolution. Many startups are here in this room. I would, given today's economic environment and the way the world is moving, I would focus very strongly on what is the consumer end customer outcome that you are driving. Because it is going to be very important to be laser focused on that. And the last one is important, but I didn't have time to go through much of it, but it is very important that the metaverse is safe, secure, and open. Because if a lot of our economy is going to be in the metaverse, the ability for people to get the economic benefit needs that the metaverse is. And I'm calling it the metaverse. I'm not calling it a metaverse because I'm saying it's not a internet, we say the internet because it is open and interoperable. We need the metaverse in the same way, that it is open and interoperable. And it is safe because areas of privacy, areas of identity will have very different ramifications in the metaverse. So a lot of that work needs to happen. With that, hopefully you'll have a very interesting conference. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.